In this video, we are going to cover theme and 5 simple ways that you can find it. So let's start what theme is. Theme is that central, underlying, and controlling idea or insight of a work of literature. Simply put, it is the lesson that the author wants you to learn. It is the idea that the writer or author wishes to convey about the subject. It provides the writer's view of the world or a revelation about human nature to you as the reader. Theme is not expressed in a single word. It is not the purpose of a work. It's not the moral, and it is not the conflict. So, how do we find theme? Well, there are some simple steps that you can follow. I have 5 of them for you. The first thing I recommend doing to find theme is to summarize the plot by writing a 1-sentence description for each part of the plot: the exposition, the conflict, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. Once you've summarized the plot, I want you to identify a subject of the work, or you could think of this as a topic. What are some of the topics or subjects that this piece of literature or work of literature deals with? Once you've identified that, you identify that insight or truth that was learned about that subject or topic. And you do that in step 3 by thinking about how the protagonist changed and thinking about the lesson the protagonist learned, particularly looking at the resolution for the conflict and what the protagonist learned from that. Once you've done those 3 things, then step 4 is to make sure that you can kind of show how the plot presents that insight or truth that you found about that subject or topic. And you do this by finding evidence, which is quotes, that support what the protagonist has learned. And then lastly, step 5 is put all of that together and write 1, maybe 2, but probably just 1 generalized declarative sentence that states what was learned and how it was learned. And that generalized declarative sentence is your theme. So to make sure that you have properly identified the theme, you can definitely do this litmus test to see if you followed those 5 steps appropriately. You need to think about and answer if the theme is supported by evidence from the work itself. Were you able to find those quotes to support it? And then, are all of the author's choices of the plot, the character, the conflict, the tone, the story as a whole, does it support this theme? If there's a portion of the story that doesn't agree with this theme or kind of goes against it, you probably need to go back through those 5 steps and try again. But if you can find evidence and the story as a whole supports it, then you have identified theme. So don't forget how to find theme in 5 steps. Step 1, summarize the plot. Step 2, identify the subject of the work. Step 3, determine how the protagonist changed and what he or she learned. Step 4, find quotes, that's your evidence, that supports or shows what the protagonist learned. And then step 5, write that